Testing, testing, testing. Perfect. It's goody team. Welcome back. Man, you guys took a long break. Gonna give everybody another 3 minutes to join, and then we will get started. As you guys can see, I haven't updated my charts since Thursday, pretty much. So since we didn't do a weekly market breakdown, we're pretty much gonna update our charts today, like if it was Sunday. Gonna go into a little bit of detail. But I am gonna try to get through this quick because, like, again, I know this session starts late for a lot of people. I know a lot of people like watching these sessions in the morning, so I am gonna start 10 minutes earlier. And I am gonna get through it pretty quick. We'll talk about what we gotta talk about. We'll talk about where we're at, what we're looking for, just refresh everybody's minds. And then obviously we will update the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour highs, the 4-hour lows, and the weekly outlook. See how many weeks of rise or weeks of drops we have. See if we have any continuations on the 4-hour, and then on the 30-minute, pretty much do the same thing. 30-minute highs, 30-minute lows. See if we have any continuations, and then we will go on from there, guys. So should be a pretty good session today. I saw the charts this morning. I woke up, same thing as yesterday, and didn't really see anything that I liked. There were some pairs that were just stuck in consolidation. I believe like GJ at one point. I woke up and it was just kind of faking everybody out. US 30 and gold have been moving pretty similarly this entire week. Um, Again, just gonna give about another minute or two, then we will get started, team. All right, let's get started. So, and pretty much like so we can see US 30 and gold, right? These are usually two pairs that move opposite of each other, as you guys can see, right? The previous days, gold has been pretty much following the same thing 30 has been doing, and today finally price decided to, go the opposite way. Let me see, gold, Bitcoin, right? 92, damn man, it's crazy. All right, so let's get started, guys. So AU daily time frame, we know we're in an overall downtrend. We are in level 3. looking for price to give us a set lower high to then continue down into the lower lows, right? So again, pretty much similar situation we've been in for the last 2-3 weeks, or I'm sorry, 2-3 months, right? We're pretty much just in the middle of the zone of consolidation at this point, right? And we can see that this has turned into a little shoulder head shoulder on the daily time frame. So regardless, in order for me to start looking for shorts on AUD USD now at this point, I'm not going to be looking for entries in the middle of this area. I'm going to be looking for price to not only give us what we're looking for, right, the change of character, the break of structure on the 4-hour time frame, but I'm also going to be looking for price to give us a break below the shoulder head shoulder. Getting the break below the shoulder head shoulder is the confirmation that this is a valid shoulder head shoulder and that we are going to continue these downtrend pushes all the way back into that lower low, right? And again, now you're like, oh, what are you talking about on the 4-hour? Let's refresh your guys' memory, right? Why am I saying that this is a low probability shoulder head shoulder on the daily time frame? And we could even see it on the 4-hour that we were seeing for the last 2 weeks, right? Is because right now when we're looking at market structure, we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Could these pushes down to the bottom, could these be higher lows to continue back into the higher high and get a steeper pull back into the 30-minute gap that we have up here? Absolutely, right? So we want to be patient. We were also looking for continuations. We had a weaker drop last week. Then this previous week, price just moved sideways, just gave us a no net. So we have no continuations on the 4-hour. And very similar to the daily time frame, on the 4-hour, we have a shoulder head shoulder. So it's the same thing, right? Regardless for me on AU, before I could take an entry, I need to see price break below these shoulder head shoulders. Without that break, right now, we are still trading in a higher low. So understanding that any of these short positions that we take at this point on AUD USD is very, very low probability. Very low probability. When we're looking at structure, we had higher high, higher low, right? And at this point, I'm wanting to say that this is higher high, higher low, and then all the way to the top side instead of saying higher high, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, right? I'm very tempted to say that we're just trading between higher high, higher high, lower low change of character, lower high, lower low break of structure. However, if I do that and I start saying, let me see it this way, right? If we say it this way, this is just a change of character into the bottom side, right? If we say that this is higher high, lower low, higher high, and then lower low, this would be a change of character, and we'd be trading between these highs and these lows, right? So I want to, let's see, we had the break here. The break happened here. Price gave us a higher low retest, and then it gave us a higher high. See, that's where this is going to be not complicated, but it's going to be a little bit more technical, right? So we had the change of character, lower low, higher high change of character, and then price gave us the lower low break of structure down here, right? We're trading between these lows and these highs up here. Then we have a day of drop on Thursday. Friday gave us a day of no net. It was just moving sideways. Then price gave us a day of drop. Then today price gave us a day of rise. So no continuations. Still trading between that shoulder head shoulder on the daily and the 4-hour, but we're still making higher highs and higher lows on the higher time frame. Right, and we have no continuations. Price is just moving sideways at this point. AU is going to be a pair that I'm going to be very careful with trading. At this point, I'm not going to be active on AUD USD until we start making those lower lows and lower highs. AUD CAD, we're in the first zone of consolidation on a downtrend, where price has been rejecting highs and rejecting lows the entire time. Price rejected the lows, came back to the top side. At these highs, what is price doing? Just moving sideways, just consolidating. Right, we already know we could turn this off. That was for last week. We already know zones of consolidation, I stay away from that. If price isn't trending, I'm not trading. Why? There's always a reason as to why. Especially in trading. You gotta ask yourself, why did I lose this trade? And why did I win the last trade, right? If you're following your system, every single time that you trade. If you follow the same system, there has to be a reason why you lost, right? It's not because you're gambling, because you're not. This isn't a casino, right? There's always a reason why. And understanding that in a zone of consolidation is an area where the market makers are trapping traders, inducing traders to get into a trade, I decide to stay away. Again, if you already know that the alligator is going to bite your hand if you put your hand in its mouth, why would you put your hand in its mouth? It's the same thing with trading. If I understand that a zone of consolidation, if price hasn't given us a break of the zone of consolidation, or if price hasn't given us an inducement of the zone of consolidation, why would I take a trade? If we're in the middle of the zone of consolidation where we could clearly see that the market is just trapping traders the entire time, why would we take a trade? Right, so AUD CAD, not only are we in a zone of consolidation, but our 30-minute highs and lows are pretty high and pretty low. Right, we're in a very big zone at this point. Right, so gonna be careful with ACAD, gonna be patient. I'm not really seeing anything on ACAD that's good. Again, we're in a zone of consolidation, so we're just gonna take it easy. Once we start trending again, that's when I'll start looking to take those trades. Here was goody candle. Euro AUD, we're in level 3 on an uptrend, right? We had the double bottom, push 1, push 2, push number 3, and we're expecting push number 3 to reach into our previous peak highs at these highs over here. We just zoom in on the daily time frame. Again, what do we see? Zone of consolidation. Prices rejecting lows, highs, middle, highs, lows, middle, high, or lows, highs again, lows again, and we're coming back up to the middle. Just trapping traders. Everybody who thought that EA was going to start that downtrend push from the top to continue to go down, if you didn't cash out, you let price reverse on you back to the top side. The same thing has been doing for the last 4 months. Right? Same exact movements. So again, understanding that a zone of consolidation is just an area where you're going to get trapped, you're going to get induced. Just wait for the valid confirmations. And again, the valid confirmations are either a break of the zone of consolidation or an inducement. Once you get the inducement, you know you could trade the opposite way. Once you get the break, all you're looking for is a retest to then continue into the area where price broke out of. Right, we have no continuations on EA. On the 30-minute time frame, let's take a look. 30-minute time frame, we had higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, change of character. Right, and all of this is part of the same trend. And then we had higher low, and then we had a break of structure, higher high. So we're trading between that high and these lows. Euro AUD, we said we were in level 3. And then we have a day of rise. On Thursday, Friday, price went down. Then Monday, price went up, and then Tuesday, today, price went down. So no continuations. We did have a change of character, and we did have a break of structure. So let's take a look on the higher time frames. Do we have any engulfing candles? Nothing for right now. We'll be patient with this one. Could be a good one to keep an eye on for tomorrow, though. Take a look at ECAD. ECAD were in previous peak highs, right? Level 3 on an uptrend. We had 3 months of rise. On the third month, rise drop. Could we expect the fourth month variation? We're trading at a higher high. Right, so I would want to see some more confirmations on the lower time frame. And we had a week of rise last week. Gave us 2 weeks of rise this week. Let's mark this up as a third week push. Third week high. We were trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Price gave us an inducement, lower low, change of character. And we're trading between these lows and these highs at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and change this over. And we know that we're trading between these 4-hour lows over here and these 4-hour highs over here. Then on the 30-minute time frame, we had higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, change of character. Then we had another higher high, change of character, back to the top side. And we are trading now between another change of character, lower low, because price came down from here. And we're trading between these highs. So we have no continuations on the 30. And these lows over here. Then when we're looking at the day-to-day basis, we have a day of rise, we have a day of drop, we have a day of no net, then we have a day of drop. So no continuations on EURUSD. The only thing we have on EURUSD at this moment is the fact that we have 2 weeks of rise. As soon as we could start seeing price turn around, start making higher highs and higher lows, we could be good. Right, and then on the 1 minute, we're still trading lower low, lower high, lower low. So we'll be looking for that change and break on a lower time frame on EURUSD. But just looking at how the EMAs are, EMAs are already telling me a story, right? It doesn't seem likely that we'll get this push. But I would like to see price, if anything, on the 30-minute, I would like to see price reach our 4-hour lows. And that's when I'll start wanting to start look. That's what I would, that's where I would want to start looking for those entries. Could we get them earlier? Could price not go down to the 4-hour lows? Yeah. But again, that's where we go into the 1 minute. Once we see the change and break back to the top side on the 1 minute, that's when I'll start looking to take those trades back to the top side. So we'll be patient with that. Euro USD. And again, guys, any questions, let me know. Any specific pairs, let me know. Like I said, since I haven't done the sessions, haven't updated my charts since Thursday. And again, I know this is a late session for a lot of people. A lot of people like to watch these sessions before their trading sessions in the morning. So I am gonna do it a little bit quick, just to catch everybody up. And again, as you guys could see, most of these pairs are just moving sideways. So regardless, again, for me personally, using my trading rules and how I like to trade in the different trading conditions in the market. And again, it's not really difficult, right? People use these big words and they try to make it seem like, oh, trading conditions. There's so many trading conditions. There's not. There's only 2 trading conditions. Either a trend or a zone of consolidation. That's it. When do I trade? When price is trending. If price decides to start consolidating and the markets start to consolidate, I step away. Until when? Until we get the breakout, and then we'll get the retest to then continue the trend, or until price gives us an inducement of the zone of consolidation to then continue the opposite way. Is the only times that I'll be trading a zone of consolidation, either the breakout or the inducement. But if price is in the middle of the zone of consolidation and you could see it, you could go to the 30-minute time frame. Just go look at the last 7 days. Go look at the last 14 days. What has price been doing? Just trapping traders. Just trapping trade. This is why you guys go on social media. And here I go venting again, talking about other traders. This is the reason you go on social media and your favorite trader, one day he's up 50,000, then the next day he's down 30,000, and then the next day he's down 100,000, and then the next day he's up 40,000. Right? He's just breaking even every single day because again, a zone of consolidation is meant to trap traders. Meaning, today you could sell. And if tomorrow you're back on those sells and you think price is going to continue, price is going to go up and hit your stop loss. And then the next day you think price is going to sell again and is going to hit your stop loss again back to the top side. You're going to get back on the charts again and then price, you're going to be like, oh, well, this has to continue to go up now, right? Because 2 days I just lost. And then boom, you end up buying again on the 4th day and then boom, straight to stop loss again. Go look, go on social media, you will see it. Your top traders, I'm not going to call them out. Most of you guys know them. Right, the start of the week, Sunday, Monday, they're up 100,000, and then Tuesday comes around, and now they're negative 70,000 for the week. right? Again, that's a zone of consolidation. It's nothing new. And I'm not throwing shade at these people. It's just giving you guys the example so you guys could be able to see, like, okay, yes, this is what happens in days and months and weeks that price is consolidating. It's nothing new. It happens. It happens regularly. It happens often. That's how the market moves. There's only two things the markets could do: either trend or consolidate. If you see that you're in a zone of consolidation, your best trade is no trade. It's boring, it sucks, you want to make money every single day, I get it. That's not part of being a trader. Being a trader is trading your system. And if your system isn't present on the charts, don't take the trade. It's that simple. Right? So, Euro USD, we're on an uptrend, we're in level 2. We know we were at these highs. At these highs, after it gave us the higher high, just decided to move sideways. Right? So right now on the daily time frame, we have no continuations, nothing to really talk about on the daily time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we had a week of rise last week. Then this previous week, price gave us a second week of rise. Perfect. Now, could we be looking for a third week push? Very unlikely. Again, just the fact that we had such a steep pullback at the end of the week, I'm not expecting it. Right? Above everything else, on the second week, we had a gap in the market. Gaps in the market reset the trend. So we already understand. Right now, we're not really trading between a strong second week push. However, we're still going to mark it up. Because even though it's low probability, could price still push to the top side? Absolutely. And this is where the lower time frame is going to tell us what we want to see. 30-minute time frame, we had higher high, higher low, higher high, and we're still trading between that same higher low that's down here. I'm going to use up this entire zone just so we could have a nice area, not too small. And these higher highs over here. Then we had 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, which was on Thursday, the next day, which was Friday, the market must move sideways or go down. And we ended up going down. And then we had 2 days of drop, counter. And then today was the third day. After 3 days of drop, the market must move sideways or go up. Right, so this could be a good one for Euro USD. Euro USD could be a good pair to keep an eye on for this entire week. Now I'm going to go down to the lower time frame, see where we're at with structure, lower low, lower high, lower low. On the 1 minute time frame, we had lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, right? And then at this point, right, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Alright, so pretty much very similar with ECAD. We're just gonna have to wait for price to give us that change of character break of structure on the lower time frame. And that would be good. Right now price is still bouncing around the 800 EMA, so we'll be patient with EU. Could be a good one to keep an eye on. Again, guys, any questions, let me know. Any specific pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know. If not, we're just going to go over the ones that you see on the right hand side with the red flag. We're almost done at this point. And then we'll be done for the night. We'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session. GA is already in previous peak highs, so I am not going to be trading this one. I'm just going to keep it updated. So let me just update the 4-hour real quick. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Lower high gave us an inducement, lower low. Let me go ahead and add some weekly lines over here. We had a week of rise and then a week of no net. No continuations on GA. And then we still have that gap at the top of the market, so that's going to be our target for the next couple trades that we take on GA. Gave us an inducement of the 30-minute low. Right, and then did we break these highs? We did with a little wick. 30-minute change of character. We're trading between these lows down here. These highs up here. And then we had a day of rise on Thursday. Then we had a day of drop on Friday. Then on Monday we had a day of rise, and then today, Tuesday, we had a day of drop. GCAD on the daily time frame. We are in level 3 on an uptrend, looking for price to reach our previous peak highs at these highs over here. Price is still giving us higher high, higher low, right? Higher high, higher low. Then price came up, gave us a higher high, and we're back at the higher low. Similar to the other CAD pair that we had, or no, I think EA, or I think it was ACAD actually, right? We're still trading. 3 months of rise. On the third month gave us a rise drop. Could we expect a fourth month variation? Again, the fact that we have such a steep pullback towards the bottom is not something that I'm expecting. I'm not expecting price to continue that push back to the top side for the end of this month. Now on the 4 hour, pretty much we could see we're in a zone of consolidation. We have a week of rise last week. Then we had a no net. Wrong one again. Alright, so we have no continuations at this point. Price just moving sideways, rejecting highs, lows, highs, lows, highs, going back to the lows. And then on the 30-minute, we have the same, we're trading between the same lower low and lower high. Price gave us this lower low down here, and this is where we could see price just moving sideways, trapping all the traders. We had a day of rise on Thursday, we had a day of drop on Friday, we had a day of rise on Monday, and then Tuesday gave us a day of drop. So right now GCAD is not a pair that I'm going to be trading. GJ is an interesting one. Let's take a look. GJ, we're still on an uptrend, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Then price decided to give us a zone of consolidation, gave us the break, gave us a retest, and we can see that price is going back up to the top side to give us another higher high, or at least attempt to give us another higher high. We have a week of rise, no continuation. We're trading between the same 4 hour lows and highs that we've been trading in. We still have that gap at the bottom of the market, so gonna be careful with GJ, but I am liking how GJ is moving. Then it gave us a change of character, it gave us a break of structure. The break happened up here. We had higher high, higher low, right? Then price gave us higher high, then gave us an equal low, never broke these bottoms, and then we made higher high, higher low, higher high. So we're trading between these higher lows down here and these higher highs over here. Then price gave us a day of rise on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday gave us a day of drop. Then Monday gave us a day of rise. Then Tuesday gave us a day of rise. Could we be looking for a 372? Absolutely. 372. Go back to the 1 hour and the 4 hour. Any engulfing candles. Nothing on the 1, nothing on the 4, nothing on the 30. And then I'm not going to go anything lower than the 15 on GJ. It's a very big pair. GJ could be a good one to keep an eye on as well. For a little 372. GBPUSD on the daily time frame. We are still on an uptrend, very similar to EU. We are in level 2 on an uptrend. right? We had level 1 for zone of consolidation, the break, higher high, higher low, the start of level 2 that gave us a higher high, and all we're looking for now is a higher low to be set. Daily time frame, we can still see we're trading between higher high and higher low. Price is pushing down into that higher low. On the 4-hour time frame, let's take a look. Right, 4-hour time frame, price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, but again, that's okay. When price moves from a higher high into a higher low, means price is moving down. Higher high, higher low, that means price is on a downtrend. So again, all we're looking for is for a higher low to be set. So now the question you should be asking, well, how do you know when a higher low is set? Very simple. Once you get into a higher low, what are you looking for? You're looking for price to go from a higher low into a higher high, which means you're going to be looking for price to start making higher highs and higher lows on the lower time frame. Right, so now on GU, we have 2 weeks where price has been moving sideways, no problem, no continuations. And then on the 30-minute time frame, once price gave us the lower low, right, lower low, lower high, lower low, price came up, gave us a higher high, and this is where I'm going to be a little bit more technical with this, right, because I'm not going to start marking this as higher high, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high. There's no way, right? So what I'm going to do is say that all of those are part of the same trend. Boom, change of character, higher high, higher low, change of character, break of structure, higher high, right? On the higher low, price decided to just move sideways, right? And there's 2 ways that we could play this, right? Because even if we say that, okay, this is, let's say we mark this up like I was saying, higher high, higher low, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? And price gave us a change of character, higher high. What would we be looking for anyway? We'd be looking for price to break these highs and give us a break. And the reason I'm saying that is because regardless, what is price doing right now? It's just moving sideways. So I wouldn't be looking to take a trade anywhere in this area at this point until price gives us a break above not only the zone of consolidation, right, but like what Kendall said as well, a break above the 800 EMA. Right, so this is why I was saying this one's going to be a little bit more technical, just a little bit more technical. But all of these confirmations will give us a way better probability trade than if we were to just say, well, we're at a higher low, fuck it, let's just get in, right? Because we got to be honest with the trade, right? Let's say we take a trade here, where's going to be our stop loss? Our stop loss can't be here, right? Our stop loss has to be below the zone of consolidation. So you're meaning to tell me that you're going to have a 45 pip stop loss? There's no way, right? You'll never make enough money. You'll never make enough money, right? So I am going to mark this as the change of character, right? Higher high. And I'm going to be looking for price to give us a break of structure. I'm going to be looking for price to give us a break above this area where it's above the 800 EMA, but also above the zone of consolidation. Once you give us a break of the zone, that's when I'll start looking to take a trade. So GU could be a good pair to keep an eye on for this week. Right, and a lot of gaps in the market, guys. A lot of gaps. A lot of inconsistencies. There's a lot going on, man. There's a lot going on. Let's take a look. Any engulfing candles? Nothing on the 4, nothing on the 1. Nothing on the 30. And I'm not going to go lower than the 30 right now. In a zone of consolidation, I'm not going to go lower than the 30. So GU will be waiting for price to give us a break of those highs. NZD USD. We are in A2, second zone of consolidation on a downtrend. We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. We had a 4-hour zone of consolidation that price gave us a break of, gave us a retest, gave us a continuation, also gave us 2 weeks of drop on the 3rd week, did not give us that 3rd week low, right? And that's okay. We talked about this last week. We said it. We're like, yo, this 3rd week low is low probability. Why? Because we're trading at the lows. We're trading at a lower low, right? Already trading at a lower low. We know price is going to give us a lower high. Now, could this be the lower high for us to continue that downtrend push back into the lower low? It could be. And once again, we'll be going down into the lower time frame. And what I would want to start seeing is lower lows and lower highs. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Then price gave us a change of character. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price gave us a lower low change of character. during Asia session. Right, so we're trading now between these lows over here and these highs over here. And then we have a day of drop. Right after 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down, and it ended up going down. Then gave us a day of rise, then gave us a day of drop, then gave us a day of no net. Once price gives us that confirmation, and that confirmation is going to be price giving us a break below this 30-minute area, giving us that break of structure, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades again. Just so we're not confused, add this 30-minute change. Perfect. And we're pretty much done, guys. Right? These last couple pairs, US30, CAD, ZAR, gold, Bitcoin, oil, not really trading them like that. Been saying that for the last couple weeks. But let's see. 30 gave us a 4-hour change of character. Do I have a 4-hour line here somewhere? Let me see. Yes, I do. So on the 4-hour, we had higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price gave us a lower low change of character. Right. Not only do we have a change of character, but we had a weaker drop last week. Then price gave us a no net. So no continuations at this point. And then we're trading between these 4-hour highs up here and these 4-hour lows down here. And then on the 30-minute time frame, we had on the 1 minute, we know we had these gaps over here that price finally filled. Let's take a look for these last couple days. Did we leave any gaps at the top of the market? It's looking clean. All right, at least nothing on the 30-minute, right? 30-minute structure, we had lower low, lower high, lower low. Then price gave us a higher high change of character. Then price came back down and gave us a lower low change of character. All right, so we have a 4-hour change of character and we have a 30-minute change of character. Right, we know that we are trading between these 30-minute highs all the way to the top side and these 30-minute lows down here. It's going to be a pretty big area, but that's okay. I don't like it, it's too big. We'll use these. And then we had a day of drop on Wednesday. Thursday gave us a second day. Friday gave us a third day. And then Monday, I'm sorry. Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Monday. And then Tuesday gave us another day. We had gaps in the market, gap on the third day, resets the trend. We have 1 day of drop, 2 days of drop, and then we have another gap today, resets the trend. So we're going to be careful with US30. If price wants to continue these downtrend pushes, it definitely could. USD CAD is another pair that I'm not really trading. So for right now, we're just going to keep it updated. If I see anything that catches my attention, I will talk about it. But for right now, market makers pattern, where are we? Who knows? Right? Could we say we're in the first zone of consolidation on a downtrend? You know, could we say that we are still in level 3 on an uptrend? We could. We could say both of those things right now. But right now, price is not reacting in a stable manner. It's giving us breaks of zones of consolidations to the top side while still looking like it wants to downtrend. Right? Who really knows? Who really knows what USD CAD wants to do? Right? Plus, these zones that we're trading in are huge zones that we're trading in. Right? So that's another thing right now that's throwing me completely off with USD CAD, and we can see how the last week and a half has really been for USD CAD, just trapping traders. Right? Everybody who thought this was going to be a simple break and retest to continue to go short, you got trapped out. Everybody who thought that this was going to be a simple break and retest to continue these uptrend pushes, you got faked out all the way back down to the bottom. Right? So the market makers for a whole week just collecting contracts, then hitting everybody out, then collecting contracts. Right? How many buyers you think were in the market today? In the beginning of Asia session, right? Monday going into Tuesday, how many buyers do you think were in these positions? How many buyers do you think had open orders down here to go buy because double bottom, break and retest? How many buyers do you think got fucked today on USD CAD? But again, this is what a zone of consolidation is. Just the market makers trapping traders, collecting contracts, inducing everybody to get into a trade to hit their stop losses. And this is why I stay away from pairs like this. It's crystal clear. It's crystal clear. You get into a trade in a day where price is just moving sideways, you're not making no money at all. And then you're going to hold the trade 1 day, 2 days, offer your stop loss to be hit. So not only was your stop loss hit, but because you were trapped in a zone of consolidation and you said, fuck it, I'm just going to hold the trade for the next session, now you got charged a swap fee for holding a trade from one session to the next or from 1 day to the next. You see what I'm saying? So for me, it's very simple. Instead of trading a zone of consolidation, I'm going to wait for the breakouts. Once I get the breakouts, that's when I'm going to start looking to take those trades again. Until then, there's no reason to take a trade. Unless you're scalping. Again, that's a completely different conversation. But I'm not a scalper. I'm a day trader. Right? So trading zones of consolidation and scalping for me doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Price gave us a lower high again. And these lower lows. So again, right now for USD CAD, that's pretty much it for me, man. There's nothing on USD CAD at this moment. Nothing that I should be really too worried about. Still making lower lows and lower highs. Right, lower low, lower high, then price broke, gave us a lower low down here. Alright, so very similar to, I'm sorry, USDs are very similar, but same thing. USDs are very similar to USD CAD. We're trading in huge areas. We don't know if we already completed the third push. We don't know if we're still in the third push. So I'd rather just stay away from a pair like this. Once everything gets crystal clear, that's when I'll start looking to take these trades again. We had 2 days of rise on the third day, gave us a third day push and finished on a no net. And we're almost done, guys. We're only missing gold, Bitcoin, and oil. Again, these last pairs, I'm not really trading them, so just pretty much keeping them updated. We have another week of rise, no continuations. And then on the 30-minute, we had very small zones, right? This is another one where I would have loved to have seen a steeper pullback. I don't even want to say that this is higher high, higher low, higher highs. It just wouldn't make sense when we're looking at structure. Would much rather say, no, is that we can't even say that, right? We say change of character high, we'd be trading between these lows and these highs. If we zoom into it, just to have like tighter zones, we could say that. You know, say that we are trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Right, because then we'd be trading lower low change, lower high, lower low break. Right, lower high. It gave us that third push and is on day 100 again. We came down, we filled the gap that was at this bottom side. Alright, we have 2 days of drop. I'm gonna mark it up this way just for... Gold is an aggressive pair. It's a very, very fast pair, a lot of volume, high volatility. Right, 3 days of drop and then price gave us a day of rise. So price is moving exactly how it needs to move. We're just gonna mark it that way. So we're gonna be trading between this low down here and these lower highs over here. Right, Bitcoin is another one that I'm not really trading, but we'll keep this marked up. Right, we had lower low, then we had lower high, then we had lower low, and the Bitcoin fucking market is open 24/7. So let's see, we had 3 days of drop, then it gave us a fourth day, and then it gave us a day of rise on Saturday, and then Sunday gave us a day of drop, then Monday gave us a day of drop, then Tuesday gave us a day of drop, and finished on a no net. But since that it's counter trend, we're just gonna mark it as a no net. And we had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So we good to into this area. We have this lower high here. And these lower lows over here. Wish I had some cash to throw in there. Yeah, XRP is a good one, bro. Even if you got $5, man, $5 in that bitch. That oil is still in the same areas as last week. Yo, did your job ever pay you back? Or did they ever fucking send you your check? And nothing really to talk about on oil. We're not in an area where it looks comfortable to trade. And we had a week of drop and then a Yo, who the fuck keeps spamming me, man? Yeah, they sent it separately, but I got it. Oh, bet. Okay, good. Right, a no net for this week. So no continuations on oil. We are still sitting on that daily engulfing, but again, we've already been tapped into this for the last couple days. Wouldn't be a good time to wouldn't be a good idea to look for those trades up here. So we'll be patient. So there was a few pairs to keep an eye on. Few pairs to keep an eye on. We'll be live tomorrow morning for sure. Oh man, I gotta update my XRP chart. Lower low change of character. We're still trading on an change of character higher high. And we're trading between we had the inducement of the lows, which was this wick, and now price is just moving sideways. That's all I see with XRP. It's just same as Bitcoin, man. It's just we're in a huge zone of consolidation, and then 30 minutes, like 30-minute structure is not even really here. We have lower low, lower high, right? And then price gave us the lower low over here with the wick that gave us this. Yes, we're trading between this lower high and this lower low. So even if we do this, like it wouldn't even make sense. And if we take away the wick, if we take away the crazy candles I printed here and just say that we're trading between these lows, right? Then maybe we could start saying like, all right, we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low, and then higher high, and then we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price gave us higher high. Right, and then higher low, and then higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, then low, then lower high, then lower low, lower high, lower low, and then lower low, right, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, change of character, higher low, and then break of structure, higher high, and then nothing breaks the highs, and then comes back down to the low, lower low, lower high, lower low. So 30-minute would be trading lower low, lower high, lower low still. Then we have a 30-minute engulfing here, price tapped into it, gave us a retest, went back to the top side. And then we had a day of no net, day of drop, day of rise. So that's pretty much it, guys. Any questions? Any pairs you guys want me to go over before we finish for the night? Let me know. If not, that's pretty much it for today, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session. It's going to be the first session back since last week, so um, again, a few pairs to keep an eye on, especially those who have like third days or third week highs. Even those third month high pairs would be good ones to keep an eye on. GJ has a break and a change and a break, and we have a 372, so this could be a good one to keep an eye on for sure for tomorrow. So the USD pairs, right? GU, Euro USD, US 30. I can't really sit here and give you guys clean observation of what could happen. All I could say is just sit on your hands when it comes to the USD pairs. Again, there's just too much news, too much things going on, too much uncertainty with these pairs. So that's pretty much it for tonight. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning, guys.